I did 2 videos now about the races tonight. First off, I wasn't going to do any videos. I was just going to talk about it on the way. After Texas race, I said he raced good. I texted a couple of people back. I spoke to Scott Zeron after the race about the horse. We were talking about him. And he said to me, Greatest Ending's got the rail. Are you going to go out of there? My initial response was, no, I know Billy's going out of there. I know Kurt's going out of there. I'll just cover him up again. Then I got thinking, his levels last week were acceptable. His AST levels. They were high, but for a horse who's a tie-up horse, I wouldn't call them extraordinarily high, and we should have been able to have them under control for tonight. He was sound. His feet are good. They're cold. Sarah's been doing a great job with his feet. Everything pointed to him being in good spirits tonight. Put him in behind the gate. He was sharp. So no, I was going to race him on the front. 26 and a piece, 55 and 3. You might say that's pretty quick fractions. For a horse that shows 48 in his life, no, those are well within accepted parameters. Now, I got a text from one of our partners right after the race, and he said, Anthony, I don't think this guy's a half-mile track horse. Well, I did train him in 52 and a piece at Northfield a month ago, but training a horse in 52 and beating an open pace with him, those are two different things, right? It's one thing to compete. It's another thing to be competitive. And I gotta give credence to the text message. It might be right. May very well be, Chris might have been right when he sent me the message and said, hey, maybe he's not a half miler. Pull up his lines. Yeah, he raced in the jug. He tied up that day and he was no good. Most of his races were better on a bigger track. He's a giant horse, so it's not unreasonable to think that he would be better suited for a bigger track. Also in the text message were, what about the Meadows or Mohawk or the Meadowlands? All great options. Now, I'm not oblivious to the fact that there may be, if we go to the Meadows, which we likely will do, there may be a conflict brewing between him and Patrick. Well, what do we do there? We can navigate that. We have options for both horses. First and foremost, I want to get him rolling. Now, when it comes to Patrick the Piranha, he's going to race Friday. We're not going to race Greatest Ending Sunday back Friday. That would be ridiculous. So Patrick the Piranha will race Friday, and now next Friday after that, we'll figure out what we're going to do with these two horses. But I believe that Greatest Ending should race at the Meadows. Actually, he should fit the non-winners class. He doesn't have a ton of money made, I don't think, last 4, so he should fit a little lower. Thanks to Chris for sending me the message, and I did want to bring this video to everybody. I want to let everybody know, first off, I saw the horse after the race. He's not in any discomfort. His legs are the same way they were going in. Everything is fine with Greatest Ending except for the way he raced. It was a terrible race. I don't regret the way I drove him. As I said, well within the parameters of a horse as talented as him were the fractions. He should have been able to fight and tussle. He had been a beaten third. You'd be like, whatever. He didn't want to fight tonight. Getting in the last turn, he didn't want any more. So we'll draw his blood. We'll go forward and draw his blood with working with the premise that maybe he isn't a half-mile track horse. Maybe he shouldn't be at Northfield. Maybe he should be on a bigger track. I suspect his blood will somewhat support that. And we'll move forward. This isn't the first time we had a horse that stumbled off the blocks or went through a lull, right? We've gone through it with lots of horses. He'll come back around. So that's the plan with Greatest Ending in regards to Texan Soprano. The horse raced great tonight. As I said to Scott after, I said, Scott, this is a 3-year-old colt at the end of his year. Now he's 4-year-old, so it started his 4-year-old season racing against seasoned veterans. Oberta that beat him, that was a killer. I drove that horse at the Meadows and was climbing over the open trotters with him going through the wire. Very talented horse. Won the Open last week. Won the Open at Scioto and Dayton this year. Like a legit open trotter. And Texan raced great. Raced very good. He will be going to Yonkers, and I think we'll have a lot of fun with this horse in Yonkers. Hanging on the right line a bit. You got to work on his feet, work on his knees. Those secondary issues up on his back and in his stifle area. Megan will do very well with this horse because he's a goer. He wants to do his work, and she will fall in love with this horse. I can guarantee you that. So, moving forward, a great race from Texan and a bad race from Greatest Ending. I think if we dissect the entire situation, step back and look at it, I believe Chris is probably right. Can't race him on a half. We'll get him back over to a 5/8. First off, we'll see if there's anything we need to address in his blood, and then we'll move forward with Greatest Ending. Disappointing, yes, but part of the puzzle that we're putting together for this guy. And no, it hasn't been a great start to our racing career with Greatest Ending, but there's still lots ahead. So with that, get some sleep. Wake up tomorrow. We have 7 sets of babies to come at you. I'll let you know if we discover anything else with Greatest Ending or any other horses we have. We do have 1 scratch tomorrow. The Prince, I just saw him, was sick. So 1 horse for sure is out tomorrow of the sets. A lot of people asking us, why was Arrowhead Hanover scratched? There's 3 scratches. Arrowhead, Westland Warrior, and Cadu. They were all gelded on Saturday. All 3 of those horses were castrated. So that is the only reason they were scratched. These horses were coming in great. Cadeau was just getting a little rambunctious, and I didn't want to see him get hurt in the barn. Westland Warrior had struck at one of the caretakers the other day. I trained him the other day. The horse was awesome. And then the Prince has been going great, but a little sick. The 3rd horse, Arrowhead, that was a decision by both Jasons and the vet. They thought he was just getting a little. The one thing about the international monies, I love them, but they all got a little dirt in them, right? They can strike at you, and they're not to be tussled with. So they had made the decision Saturday and asked me, hey, can we also cut Arrowhead Hanover? I said, yes, go ahead. It's not a big deal. I think he'd be a much better gelding. I like all 3 of the horses that were castrated. None of them are castrated for any sort of attitude problems. Just a little bad in the burn, maybe a little rambunctious, and trying to nip Arrowhead in the bud before he starts to get a little bad. So that's all that went on tomorrow. So 1 horse, aside from the ones that you can see, 1 horse was scratched tomorrow. The Prince just getting over the virus. His jowls are still a little filled up. He'd have slight temperature, so he won't be going tomorrow. And if there are any other scratches in the morning, I will let you know. But for right now, I know Garnet Barnsdale is celebrating. Watch the end of the Bills game. Congratulations to him. My brother-in-law Matt is a hardcore Dolphins fan, so it was a bit of I was neutral tonight, completely Switzerland. So anyway, half the card went great for us and half didn't. The half that didn't, we'll nip that in the bud. We'll try him on a bigger track, and we'll get Greatest Ending going. The half that did in Texong Soprano, congratulations. Very, very nice horse, and we should have a lot of fun with this guy moving forward. That is that. I will talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful night. If you're one of my partners in Greatest Ending, chin up. We'll get him right. Take care.